guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome to a brand new series. I think it's a series, News Tower. It's 1.0 now and it's just come out about last week, and it's a management simulation tycoon game where you build your own kind of news empire. Very, very cool. I've been messing around with it a little bit just to get a feel for it, and I must say it's highly addictive. And so I decided to let's do a bit of a Let's Try series, and we'll see how it goes in terms of popularity if we continue doing it. But it's certainly highly addictive, and I enjoy it, so I'm happy to play it. So let's jump into it. So I've done the intro, so I'm not going to do that. We're not unlocked any of these things yet, but let's go into the classic one. So it's pretty cool, and we'll just quickly we'll get into the game first. So yeah, absolutely, I kind of love it. I've been messing around with it a little bit just to get a feel for the mechanics, because I didn't play it in early access. It's been in early access for quite a while actually before the release. It plays off in New York City, and it's basically you're taking over from your business from your uncle. So I'll not necessarily go through all of the detail in terms of the story there, at least not this kind of starting story. First things is, let's get a newspaper name, and what I'll call it is the Chaotic Times, right? A bit of a homage to the channel. So ExactChaos is the editor of the Chaotic Times, and I like it. It's pretty cool. So let's confirm that, and we get started. Okay, so this is our little spot in New York. I believe Brooklyn. When we get to the map, we'll see. And this is it, basically. So let me have a look. We'll pause it there, and we need to jump in straight away. Yeah, the day is already running. So we need to have a look at a few things that we need to build kind of straight away. And we've got a bit of money. We're going to need an extra floor, which is pretty cheap to start with. So we'll get our extra floor going. We need to put some staircase in here. So we'll do that. So at least we've got the 2 levels now. And then we need to have a look at a few different things. Now, because I've had the luxury of actually playing this a little bit, I have a bit of an inkling as to what needs to go where to allow for some efficiencies. And I guess the end of the chain, when we get to typesetting and assembly, is quite an important one, because we find that reporters come running back and they give the stories in at the typesetting desk, and if that's all the way at the top, you lose quite a bit of time in doing that. So we'll start off with a little bit of typesetting, and I like to leave a little bit of room here, actually give ourselves a little bit of extra ability here. So let me something like that. Can we do something like that and it still works out quite nicely for us? Let's just have a look. So if we go here, typesetting desk, actually let's start off with the assembly table on the end here. Can we do 2 and 2? I want to see if we can do 2 and 2, and even if we so we can't actively do 2 and 2. What I'll do for the time being is I'll just stash this one, so you can stash it. We don't have to sell it. We can reuse it later, because we'll definitely need more of it. And then for the time being, I'll just add a little bit of room there. So here we go. We're getting our first people in. We'll have a look at that in just a minute. We need a few things in here. So first things first is we need a bit of light on the subject. So we'll do that. I think that's okay. On the other side of the spectrum, we need probably some reporters. But let me do the same thing here with regards to this. I think that's about right. I want a bit of a hallway here at the entrance, because there's some stuff later that we need to squeeze into that. So we'll do that, and we'll grab another one over here. So we're going to start off with a few reporters' desks over in this area. We're going to stack them in pretty full, because I'm going to start off with quite a few of them. Let's just do that, stack them in a bit, and you do end up buffing them a fair bit. So I guess we'll start off with about 4 of them. We might not fill all of them straight away, but we'll get in there soon. Now, the next step is we need the telegraph station to be able to get stories from the world. Again, we might squeeze them in a little bit at first. We might do more in the future, but we'll start. We can only get 3 of them, and we'll start with all 3 of them so that we can make a pretty flying start. Okay, I think that's the starting point in terms of the immediate things. We also need things like a bathroom. So let us go and grab a bathroom there. And then, ironically, a debuff or smell is the sink that goes in the bathroom. We'll do that. And I guess what I'll do is I'll add the extra doorway here. Maybe something like that. Okay, to allow for, can we do an extra bathroom? I might not want to do an extra bathroom just yet, just because we not necessarily. I think an extra bathroom will squeeze in there quite nicely. And what we'll do is we'll put a light about there, and we'll put a light about here, and that should give us a reasonable flow. Now, what you saw here is there's all kinds of things that bother people, right? So smells is this one, so that gives people a bit of a debuff, and noise over here. So these telegraphing stations creates a little bit of noise. So you try and deal with that. There's no real issues over here, but there's no real, kind of real value items there either. It's just kind of neutral. Now, what we can do is we can kind of sort out the smell a little bit by adding a vent up here. That kind of fix it at a fairly reasonable option. Ooh, maybe we add another one. That doesn't seem to want to really. Oh, you know what? We can have a look at the construction items, because I believe bathroom tiles wallpaper is giving a 20% reduction there. So there we go. That's helping us a little bit. If we look at smell reduction a bit more, can we squeeze it down, or do we actually need a bit of a fan in here as well? So we've added a fan, and now that area is all good. Now, we also need noise cancelling. So what we can see is we can put an industrial wallpaper in, or we can just add some acoustic panels. And I guess what I might do is I might just add 2. Wow, we might need more. Maybe a little bit much, really. Unless, hang on, let's add a second one kind of over there. And then there's some other items that does a little bit of this in this category here. Then if we add a clock, which is obviously doing its own thing, that's kind of overlaying that a fair bit. So there we go. So we've neutralized those first few things. Let's quickly pop back in here. So we've got telegraph, we've got reporters, we've got typesetting, and we've got assembly table plus an extra one in the stash. There's some other stuff we can grab over here, which I guess we'll get into a little bit later. We don't want to, because we still need to hire some people. Now, you also get some cool stuff to buff people a little bit. So a globe will buff both the society. So before we do that, let's quickly grab some people to kind of work here. Okay, we need, in production, we need typesetting, and we need assembly. So we've got a couple of people with cheapish assembly. Well, good value is assembly, actually. Already a single extra skill. So we go and, this is a little bit, okay, so that's where I want, what's her name, Mildred, to be working in the typesetting over there. Now what we also need is we need a typesetting person, and there we go, we've got a typesetting person here, uses only 50% of resources. That's a good one, plus it's an extra score there. It's a little bit more expensive, but I'd rather go for someone that's going to go and help us out straight away. So there we go. That's our typesetter and our assembler. Now, we need to also look at some reporters. So we want to try and get a decent mix of things that we are looking at. If we pop into our staff board, we can see there's a number of things that a reporter could be doing. Now, crime, society, politics, sports, entertainment, and economy is available to us now. Photography, illustration, and cartography is something that's a little bit more advanced and later. So it's effectively 6 different skills that we need to cover with our reporters. So if we go back to the board and see who we have here. So this person is pretty good. I think we'll grab Paulina. What is this buff here? Orderly, produces 50% less trash. Less of a thing that I'm super in need of, but I'd more like the skills. Okay, so we'll grab we'll grab Paulina, put Paulina in over here. So Paulina is crime, entertainment, and sport. Now, we need at least, definitely at least 2 crime people. And what else do we have here? I think we need to grab Alexandra as well, who's unaffected by darkness. She'd probably be sitting in that first one. Let me unassign Paulina. And I'll grab Paulina. I'll put Paulina on the other side. Okay. And then I'll grab Alexandra. They're overlapping with regards to sports. Okay, but anyway, I'll grab Alexandra, put Alexandra on this side because it's a 1 in each one. It's so difficult to get these upskilled, or it's not that difficult, but it takes time. So I'd rather spend a little bit more money now and get that going. So now we've got entertainment. Oh, actually, we can see if you go back to the board here, you can immediately see what you have covered. We've got 2 people that can do sport, 2 people that can do entertainment. Only 1 person that can do crime and only 1 person that can do politics. And we are missing completely society and economy. So we definitely need society and economy. But because we've got 2 overlapping skills, I'm almost tempted to grab Paulina again. And did I unassign her? And I did not unassign her. So click that there. Let's unassign her again. What did I do? Okay. And we'll put her next to Alexandra over here, so we can buff them jointly. I think that's pretty good. Now let's go back in there. Let's hire some more people. So this is in effect society and I think this one is pretty good. This just cheap basically. So I guess we'll grab these 2. Then we've got a little bit of a I think we'll just grab all of them. We'll just go with that. All right. So this is going to be our reporters, and they can buff together pretty well, I think. Okay, now that's that. We also need some telegraphers. So let's grab here under not utility. Telegraphers are these guys. Okay, so what I might do is I might spend for another spin here so we get some proper telegraphers. They're all pretty good. What do we have here? Careful. The machine that is being worked on breaks down more slowly. That's a pretty good one to have. This is just cheap. Oh, no. Resilient. Concentration recovers quite fast, which is good. That's just purely cheap. So we might do... So it's got a bit of a mixed set of skills. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll grab Penny, put Penny in there. I don't think the breaking of the thing, but it's, 3-3. That's actually a pretty good set there. And then this one is just purely resilient. So I think we might grab Rhonda as well. And we'll also grab... I mean, at that little bit of a difference, I don't think it's a big deal. So we'll just grab Harold as well. And we'll put Harold in there also. So now I think we can make a start on the running some news, right? We've got 0 subscribers at the moment. I think we can make a start at running some news. Let's just see. Are we missing anybody else that we need immediately? Let's just go through this. Oh, hang on. We want to buff them a little bit. So in the telegraphers, use globes to get an extra point. So I'll give them that. So now, basically, if I hit Harold here, if I can look at Harold's skills, you can see it's immediately buffed. So that is a good starting point for us. We go back in there. Globe is also useful for society. So we can see these 2 are society people. So we'll give each of them a globe as well. So we buff that skill set. Now, if we then move on to something else. Oh, we need a printer. Ooh, we don't have a printer. Can we add a floor? We can add a floor. Let's add a floor here. And we still need to do the printer. So I forgot about the printer, which is obviously quite a big ticket item to be forgetting. So let's get our extra set of stairs in there. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. And the printer can go up at the top. So we need to do that. That's pretty pricey. So we need, and I'll start it off on this side, basically over here. So we need a printer output module. We'll do it like so. And then we need a page module. We can do 2 of them. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll put a little bit of a room in between here. We'll be moving this thing plenty of times. So if we do something like that, and we need the input module as well. So as you can see, they're pretty tough on temperature and the likes. And we need to run a bit of tape in there. So that's a pretty good starting point for us. Let's quickly grab a couple of lights in here. We don't need this area to be super well lit. So I guess is that let's do that. Let's just go with 2 of them. We'll put one over here, one all the way on the other side. And we need to try and manage this heat a little bit. We can do some fans. So let's go with the industrial wallpaper. That does a bit to help it straight away. I guess we can do vents and fans. Okay, so let's add a fan on this side. And what we'll do is we'll add a fan. Well, that's not really doing much. What we can do is we can try and add some vents, right? So let's do a fair bit of vents all over here. Oh, there's a bit of noise in here as well. But I guess if we at least just get it to a manageable... Ooh, we're seeing some noise come down out over this way. We've got that going on. So let's do at least one counter for the noise. So we'll grab an acoustic panel up above the door over here. So, it's still not... Oh, that's the temperature coming out this way. Do we... If we put the fan here... No, it's still not going to help. So we might just do... Wow. It's quite a bit of... impact there. Okay, well, let's just do this. We'll add a couple of vents above the door here, which should help things out a little bit. And I guess we can the acoustic panel fit in there? Yeah, so let's do some acoustic panels in here as well. Hoping it's not going to be too painful with our pricing. We need to be a little bit more cautious now. But I guess I think that's reasonable, right? It'll be a little bit uncomfortable, but people should survive. So I guess that's our printer there. Good, I checked that. Anything else we need? Yeah, we do need paper and the like, but I think that's slightly later. Like slightly later. I think we can make a start now and go from there. Okay, so that's our first 15 minutes in. Let's start cracking on getting some news stories into the paper. So there we go. So start the game. So these guys immediately, the telegraphers, immediately start looking for stories out in the world, locally. Is that saying items left to be researched? So there's 6 stories available. So these guys should go through them pretty quickly. And hopefully our 4 reporters are going to be in a reasonable spot to get them done for us quickly. What we don't have, which we might add quickly while we're waiting for those stories to come through. And there we go. Let's do the stories first. So we've got 3 stories. One is two crime stories and 1 politics stories. And there's a little bit of a society and economy air to the other 2. Let's start off with this one out all the way over there. So now here we can see. So this is quite complex straight away off the bat. So it's a society story to start with. Okay. Filipino-American dance hall, okay, which is obviously getting, riot erupts, okay. And then from there, this thing means we can choose one of the 2 paths. So we can either make it a political story or we can make it a crime story from that point. Every one of these tags, this is a bronze tag, every one of these tags that you add to the story adds value to the story. So that's basically what we're doing. Let's start off by sending Edith out here to go and have a look at that story over there. She's going to take 16 hours to get that under in the book there. We don't have a lot else. We can have a quick story here with regard to the new Chief Justice. We'll pick that one up because it's going to be a quick and easy one. And then this one we have to choose straight away. Either we're going to do economy or we're going to do crime. I think we'll do... did we do an economy one? No, a society one. So let's just... you can also group them together in areas in the newspaper to get some added buffs to the mix of it. So that's why you might choose one over the other, or you might need a tag over the other tag. What is also interesting here is you've got 5 days left to go and get this story, otherwise it'll disappear. But you can go ahead and recycle it altogether and close the communication line. As long as it's here, your telegrapher isn't getting new stories, right? You need to potentially pick at some point that you're not going to grab this one. But what I'll do is I'll drop Paulina in there to go and do a crime story for us. So we've picked crime. We should get that done and get back to business. So there we go. That is it. straight away. There's a few more stories that can be picked up, but we'll get to it. We can pause and we can fast forward as necessary. But let's quickly have a look. There's a little bit of extra like the water cooler, which I'm going to grab. So I'm going to put a water cooler over here. And that's why I like leaving a little bit of room there, just so that people have access to that. Oh, the other thing that I missed is a paper trash bin, which these debuffs things. You can immediately see people are already complaining. I need to go and have a quick look at getting them all some paper trash cans. We'll do that. We'll do that, and we'll do that. So that sorts itself out. We'll do it over here. We'll do it over there. We'll do it for each one of these because they all generate a bit of a mess. So let's go ahead and get them all in place. Okay, that's a good start then. Water cooler down here. I think we'll stick with the one for now until we can get through the big ticket items here. We just want to see our money is reasonable. We spent a lot so far. So these stories are being progressed. So let's move that along. Fast forward. Okay, so immediately someone's come back. We can also pop in here and we can see now we can go and do the second part of this one. So we have crime available. So we may... Crime is very low for anyway, we need to buff Beth as well. So let's just go and grab the crime story. And that takes a bit of time. As she gets better, it skills up and the likes. This reduces a little bit. Is that what it's saying? Yeah, no, it's not saying that, but that's what I experienced. So now these telegraphers have. So have a look here. So here our reporters have just been dropped off by taxi, and they're coming to bring the stories to the basically to the typesetting desk. So the typesetter, so if you've got your typesetter all the way up here, it takes them like 3 in-game hours to walk up the stairs, right? So it's best to not do that. So we only have the one typesetter for now, so this might take a little bit of time. Now, we've got 2 more stories, so let's quickly have a look and start doing that. Here we can get an extra object. So let's send Alexandra out here to go and get the sports story. And here we can get an object as well. So let's go ahead and send Paulina out to go and do the entertainment story. Only 1 tag, so limited value. It's basically a bit of a full story. But anyway, here we can see the progression of our stories. So we can see what we've got in terms of tags. And we'll see in the next kind of week that we have all kinds of things that we need to try and, we're trying to achieve certain things. In the game, and that requires us to have certain tags in our papers, certain agendas and the likes. So here we can see the progress. Reporting is done, typesetter is in progress, and the assembler hasn't started yet. So the next item here is currently being reported, and then it needs to typeset and assemble. So I guess here is going to be our bottleneck, and we need to start and add more people to this mix straight away, which makes me kind of think that I'll need to move my my reporters up here quite quickly so that we can typeset on this side also. I guess that's going to be the plan. So we'll do typesetters, and so we're going to do a bit of a change straight away, I think. Okay, so that's a little bit of what's going on over there. I think I might just move them up straight away now. And I wonder whether I should be putting in a bit of an extra doorway here. Let's do that. Let's give these guys a little bit of breathing room in here, right? So we'll do that. We'll do that. I think that's going to be sufficient. And what we'll do is we'll move them up here and see if that kind of works for us to put them all together. I think that'll work. Yeah, beautiful. Let's bring up these. I think the people will, they'll be continue to be assigned to their desks. I do wonder why we've got the heat in here. Anyway, we'll sort the heat out, no problem. Let's add an extra light. Let's grab ourselves. We've got something in the stash here. So what I'll do is I'll move the assemblers to this side, and then we'll get an extra. Oh, we've got 2 assembly tables already. We'll do that. We'll start with 2, and what I'll do is I'll grab an extra. typesetting desk. We'll put it all the way in the end there. We'll grab an extra typesetter, please. Yeah, Lillian is going to be just fine. To start working on that straight away, Lillian, I will also come in here and I'll grab one of these to go to Lillian so Lillian can start work. You can interact with game objects like that. So move, because otherwise it might just end up there and she'll end up doing the whole thing herself anyway. We'll grab an extra person here if we can get one. An assembler. What is this? Heat tolerant. Not really what I'm after. Bernie is going to be the guy to save a little bit of money. The Bernie is ready to go straight away also. Okay, excellent. That is beautiful. Everybody's fine. I do need to just debuff this thing ever so quickly. Probably we're just going to grab ourselves a little bit of an air vent. Maybe over there should do the trick. I don't want to fill this area because you see we're going to do tons of different buff things in here. But I guess it should be okay like this, right? This is the center, I think. Yeah, I think that should be fine. That should be fine. Okay, perfect. So we moved the reporters up a little bit. Let's quickly have a look what's going on over here. These stories are underway, so let's speed things up a little. So here we can see, now we're getting some objects. Boxing gloves. So now we're buffing. We've got something here to buff sport with, so we'll have a look at that. And we've got our sports story coming in. And we've also got a poster to buff entertainment. So let's see how we best apply those things. Our money is tediously or dangerously low. Let's pop in here. So here they're bringing in the story straight away. Now, if we look at the buffs, let's start with this one. Luckily, they're both next to each other. We'll pop the poster in there to buff them. Here we go. Entertainment ready to go and see already buffed. So Paulina, get over there and we'll deal with that. Get that story sorted to try and make the newspaper. We don't have a lot of room in the newspaper, so it doesn't really matter too much that we get everything. I think we should have, we should be able to run all 6 stories. So boxing gloves is the other one. Again, these two. So we'll just do the boxing glove there as well. And so now we're buffing them for both sports and entertainment. That's very good. That's quite good. Excellent. That works really well. Got a bit of room for expansion. Got a few other things we can do over here. Starting to look pretty good. I like it. So let's see what's going on. We can speed things along. That story should finish. That's the last story. So now we can see at what time all of these finish. So this story should finish on Friday, which is today. These are already finished. This one is Friday, this one is Friday, and this one is Saturday. So all will be done by Sunday when we need to publish. So we've got our extra people. They're doing their thing. Obviously quite an expensive start for us. Let's keep speeding things along. Oh, one quick thing. We have some paper in here. We may need to just do a quick extra supply of paper. Let's grab some extra paper to come in. Do you need this thing supplied? We're rolling the presses. It means it's Sunday morning. We don't have to do it straight away, but we can because we've got everything there. Here's the paper being delivered. I just have to manually kind of move it in there for the time being. But that should be all good. So now you go here. We go into the printing press and we'll have a bit of a look see. So we can flip this board, but there's some stuff that we still need to unlock on this side. For the time being, we're just having a look at what the details are. Now, here we can see we've got practically the same kind of stories everywhere, apart from this first one, which has 2 tags. So this is the most popular one. As you start, so here we can see if we combo stuff, we get extra content. This is how many people will actually read it. So for every bronze tag, you get 2,500 people reading it. For every silver, it's 5,000. For every gold, it's 10,000. And then if you combo them together on the same page, you get more bonuses. If there's negative tags, that reduces the readership. But this is also the kind of front page you'll get ×3. So our best story goes in there straight away. So immediately we can see we're up to 15,000. Why? Because it's 2 bronze tags times, which is 2,500 each. Plus it's in the triple category. So that gives us 15,000 sales. Now, what we need to do is we want to combo these things together. Now, unfortunately, we don't have another society tag, but we do have a crime tag. So we'll add the crime tag. That gives us a 2,000 combo there, plus an extra 2,500 here to 20,000. And then I guess what we'll do is let's go and look at the second page. We only have 2 pages. Here, it doesn't really matter too much what we're adding, but we'll add this one here, which is a double. So that gives us 5,000. And when we'll combo it over here, and then I guess we'll add the sports story over there for a little bit more. And we'll go over here and add the new Chief Justice over there for a little bit more. 35,000 in total. We need 88 paper to run that. We've luckily got 200, so we can go ahead and run it straight away. Power okay, the machine is okay, and the printer is complete. So we can start it straight away. There's nothing else we're waiting for. So let's run it, get our first 35,000 sales going. Start the print. There we go. Our newspaper is up and running, and we're printing our very first story. So let's see what the outcomes is. 35,000 newspapers. My cousin's neighbor knows somebody that knows somebody, and entertaining. Okay, good. So that's pretty good. Here we can see the outcomes. We're making, so at 3 cents a newspaper, we sales revenue as $1,000. So we can see we're bumping up a little bit from where we were. Let's see what's next. So now we can see our expenses. We should be, we're just barely making making enough money. We need to start getting more tags, get a more popular paper, and so on. Okay, let's leave that recap and see this one. So the final thing I just want to touch on is this board is the way you're playing, right? This legend over here tells us where we can unlock new technologies. So we'll have a look at that in the next episode. We can also target specifically subscribers. So if we wanted to target these subscribers, we need a crime story and a sports story, and then we'll add 2,000 subscribers to the mix here. And they will buy our newspaper every week, regardless of whether there's specific stories in there or the content. So as we build subscriber base, we have a naturally reoccurring income stream in addition to the tags and stuff that we've just done. So I guess what I'll do is I'll grab this district, and that unlocks then all of the other guys around. So we've got something to work towards in the next episode. So now we are, this is our Chaotic Times headquarters, and there's all other things that we want to unlock as we go. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about it in the next episode. So let's head on back out to it. I'll pause the game here. And I'll call it the end of the episode. So thank you so much for joining the first episode for News Tower. I hope it's informative, and I hope you're also kind of targeting this game. It's a really fun and addictive game, and I'll unpack a few more episodes, see how it goes. But anyway, this is a new series, so I would really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy this content, as it goes a lot further, especially on the new stuff. So thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.